So hey everyone, welcome back to another Prism Caribbean video. I am your tutor Jordan Jaffa, and today we will be going through some more topics that will be in your paper 2 questions 1, sometimes questions 2, consumer arithmetic. Today we will be doing work on simple interest, right? Solving problems involving compound interest, appreciation and depreciation, and measures and money, right? So let's get down to this topic. Consumer arithmetic. Well, we have simple interest first. Simple interest is when money is borrowed from the bank charges an interest for lending out a particular amount of money, right? Key terms: principal, rate, time. Note, the time must be in years, not seconds, months, or minutes, but years. It must be in years. If they give it to you in months, do convert it, right? Formula: simple interest is equal to principal by rate by time, years, over 100. Remember that. Compound interest. This is the interest on a loan or deposit calculated with an initial principal and the accumulated interest from the previous periods, right? Formula for compound interest: amount is equal to principal, which is the initial investment, or I guess you can say initial value, depending on how the question phrases it, into 1 plus rate over 100 by to the power of n, which is years, as you can see here, right? So yeah. Please note, however, with regards to appreciation and depreciation, this formula above, which is this here, also applies to appreciation. Now, depreciation isn't that much of a difference. The amount is equal to the principal, which we know is the initial investment, into 1 minus the rate over 100 to the power of n, which of course, do not forget that, right? Which is always in years. So let's get to our first question. Can borrow $8,500 from the bank at a simple interest rate of 8% per annum for 4 years. We already know this is a simple interest question because they gave it to us here. But looking at it now, the question itself, right? Part A, determine the simple interest. So we know, based on previous notes, simple interest is equal to principal by rate by time over 100. Time is in years, right? So simple interest is equal to principal by rate by time over 100. The formula can be written like this for simplicity reasons. It can, you're allowed to. We know, so this is the principal, 8,500. We know the rate, which is in a percent obviously, is 8%, and we know the time is 4 years. Over 100, right? Just plug that into a calculator. That will be $27.20, right? $2,720, right? So now we know the simple interest is equal to $2,720. Now for part B, the total needed to be repaid. Now, remember what we said. The interest is what you owe to a bank. When you borrow money from a bank, let's say this is the teller here, and this is you. Teller gives you cash that you needed to borrow, right? But let's say you get to pay back that over a period of some years, right? So that means you pay it back to the cash over some years, right? But the bank does not let you go that easy. The bank also accumulates interest, meaning more money. So this is the initial amount of money. Let's call this $M. right? And when you go to the bank and you borrow money over time, based on the interest which we have here, you accumulate, sorry, the rate, you accumulate something called interest which you need to pay back to the bank. So let's call the interest N dollars, right? N dollars, right? I didn't make that sign there too well, but that's okay, right? N dollars. What this means now is that you owe the bank M amount of dollars you originally borrowed, which is this here, and the interest which has accumulated, right? So the total being owed to the bank will be both the cost of the interest plus the amount initially borrowed, or the principal, which is 8,500, right? So this would imply 2720 plus 8,500, which is equal to 11,220, right? Right. Understand? I hope so. If you have any questions at this point, drop a comment down in the comment section. I will get back to them as soon as time is possible. Right? So now, with regards to part C, well, let me go over this one more time. Simple interest is equal to principal by rate by time over 100. Right? This is from the formula from before. You can go back in the video a few minutes prior and you can see the formula. So we put in the principal amount, which is 8,500, which is the amount borrowed, by the rate, which is 8% over 100, multiplied by 4, which is the amount of time. So we know the interest accumulated is 2720, right? So we keep that in mind, right? So we want to know what is the total needed to be repaid, right? Right, so the total needed to be repaid, we know will be the interest accumulated over time plus the original money invested, which will be 2720 plus 8,500, which will give us 11,220, right? Right. So now let's clear up some space here and let's get back to the other question, part C, right? So for part C, determine the monthly installment. Determine the monthly installment amount. So what this question is basically asking is, how much would I have to repay each month based on my total amount needed to be repaid? We know the time to repay is 4 years. However, they asked for monthly installment. So we know 4 years is 48 months, right? 1 year equal 12 months. Therefore, 48 years equal 48 months. Understood? So, yeah, let's get back down to this. Right. So we know amount to be repaid is equal to $11,220. Right? This is what is needed to be repaid after 4 years. Right? Total after 4 years, that is after 4 years total. Right? So we know 4 years is 48 months equivalent, and we know the amount to be repaid is 11,220. Therefore, the monthly installment will be the total needed to be repaid divided by the amount of time, which we know is 48 months, right? This will tell us how much would have been needed to be repaid in 1 month, right? So let's see that amount. This will be, when you put it in the calculator, $233.75. Right? So the monthly installment will be $233.75. Right. So now to go over this, the amount of time needed to be repaid is 4 years. The amount needed to be repaid was $11,220. So therefore, for 1 month, it will be $233.75. But this is one method. Method 1. Let's see another method. Perhaps it might be easier for you. Right. The other method, method 2. We know 48 months will be equal to $11,220 to be repaid, right? So therefore, 1 month. I learned this from my secondary school chemistry teacher when we were doing moles, and I used it ever since in math, right? So therefore, 1 month, we take this, we put it on top, $11,220, and we divide it by what's on the side here, which will be 48, and multiply by whatever is over here, multiply by 1. So therefore, 1 month Therefore, 1 month is equal to $233.75. That seemed a bit easier. I hope you understand that. We basically take the amount on the right. So basically, we put down what we want to find on the left. On the left, we have 1 month. So we put down 48 months is equal to the amount of cash. But we want to find for 1 month how much it will be, right? So it will be 1 month is equal to $233.75. Again, we put on what we know on the left. We know we have 48 months to repay, which is $11,220. But we want to find for 1 month. So on the right, we will have 11,220 divided by 48 multiplied by 1 month, which is equal to $233.75. And that's it. That's it for this, right? Question 2. Calculate the compound interest earned when $36,000 is invested at 6% per annum compound interest for 12 years. Seems like a pretty simple question. Let's go. Right. So we are dealing with compound interest. Now this here is a formula for compound interest. The amount is equal to the principal, which is the initial investment, multiplied by, into 1 plus the rate over 100 by n, to the power of n years, sorry. Right. So let's write on that formula. Compound interest is equal to principal, which is the initial investment, into 1 plus the rate over 100 to the power of n years, right? So all we do is plug it into the formula. Calculate the compound interest earned when $36,000, this will be the principal, is invested at 6%, which is the rate, per annum, right? It's invested at 6% per annum compound interest for 12 years, which will be the time. Compound interest is equal to 36,000, fill it in, 1 plus 6 over 100, which is fill in, to the power of n years, which in this case will be 12. Therefore, compound interest is equal to, plug it into a calculator, right? That will be when we plug it into a calculator, we'll get $72,439.07, right? So be $72,439.07. Usually, sometimes with questions like these, they will explain or say how much decimal places to keep it to. But since we're working with dollars, keep it to 2 decimal places, right? So just to go over this question one more time. The question wants us to find the compound interest. So automatically we pull out the compound interest formula. We write it, right? And we look at what the question is stating. Look for keys in question. Then we input it into the formula, input in formula, and solve, right? Always double check this, by the way. Say a car was bought from, right, so question 3 now. A car was bought from Korea Express for $120,000. The owner decided to calculate the depreciation loss from his car at 5% per annum. Calculate the value of the car after 4 years. So we know already they said there was a depreciation loss. So what we do here is that we go to the formula. Depreciation. Amount is equal to principal, which is the initial value or the investment, into 1 minus the rate over 100 to the power of n years. So the power of n years. The difference between this formula and the appreciation or compound interest is simply the variation between the addition and subtraction side. For compound interest and appreciation, we use a plus when we're adding the 1 plus the rate over 100. For the depreciation, we use a subtraction, right? So instantly, in this case, let's, define the terms and variables in the question. The $120,000 here will be the principal. It is the original amount which was invested, and 5% per annum is the rate, right? And the question itself gives us the amount of time, right, which is in years. Always remember, if they give it to you in months, convert it to years. So calculate the value of the car after 4 years. We follow the same technique as we said here. Right? So we write the formula, right? Formula. Right? So the formula in this case will be A is equal to the principal into 1 minus R over 100 to the power of n, which is always in years. Never forget that. And then we follow the next step. Look for the keys in question, which we did first with principal, rate, and time. Then we input it into the formula. So the amount after 4 years is equal to the principal, which is $120,000, to 1 minus 5 over 100 to the power of 4. And we simply solve, right? So I got $97,740.75. $97,740.75. With regards to B, okay, so let me go over that one more time. We identify the variables. $120,000 was spent to buy the car, and well, the car decreased in value over time, 5% per year. And we know they want the value of the car for 4 years, so we input it into the formula and we solve. We got $97,740.75. For part B, we use a different color. Right. So for part B, the amount by which a car depreciates for this period. So they basically want to know what was the difference between the original cost and the new cost. So the amount will be the original cost because they want to know what is how much it depreciated by, right? So the amount will be equal to $120,000, right? Minus the $97,740.75, and just simply putting that into the calculator will give us a difference of $22,259.25. $22,259.25. Again, one more time. We find it, we use the original value to give us, and we use the depreciated amount to which it is now, which is $97,740.75. And what we do is find the difference. The difference in this case will give us the depreciated amount after 4 years, right? Please do take note of these formulae here. I'm not sure if they come in your formula sheet, but it's worth noting. And of course, the appreciation formula, which is the same as the compound interest, right? This is a pretty simple topic. Do hope that this comes in your exam. It will be worth a shot to get your marks. And I am Jordan Jaffa, your tutor for Prism Caribbean. This has been a pretty nice video. Well, and we look forward to our next video where we try to finish up the remainder of topics for consumer arithmetic. Thank you.